Now, there are several residents who are living near Tamil Nadu's Kosasathalai river, especially the fisher folk, are suffering from health issues including respiratory problems, skin rashes and headaches due to toxic fumes following the spread of an oil spill into the river from a canal. The oil spill occurred in the Buckingham Canal on the same day that Chennai was inundated by heavy rains triggered by Cyclone Michong. The flooding led to the toxic water mixed with crude oil to enter people's homes, acutely affecting their health. As per locals, the crude oil spilt from an oil refinery into the Buckingham Canal on the night of 4th of December, and the crude oil then flowed into the river. In fact, there are more repercussions that Tamil Nadu and particularly Chennai is facing. There has been schools and colleges that have been shut for 5 days straight after the cyclone hit Chennai. Now, amidst these developments, the question I ask is, can Tamil Nadu government replicate the model that the Odisha government has been setting up painstakingly over the years to ensure there is adequate infrastructure, adequate resources, mitigation teams that are then going to allow for normalcy of life to happen at the soonest possible in terms of resilience, in terms of going back to your work, to your colleges, no water stagnation, ensuring that each household has water, has electricity, has food, and then looking forward to building these strong infrastructural resources to ensure that people, that the citizens, that the residents of the state, and in this particular instance Tamil Nadu and Chennai particularly, are then provided with strong basic infrastructure at hand. Let's start off this conversation. Joining me on the telecast is okay, let's quickly get in our guests. Joining me on the telecast, Major General Rajan Kochar. Major General Kochar, now why I make these comparisons with the Odisha government and the mitigation of cyclone impact that has happened in the past, and we have all seen this, is how fast life is brought back to normal in Odisha when a cyclone and a natural calamity, particularly cyclones that hit the state, and can there be lessons that can be learnt by the Tamil Nadu government?
Yeah, certainly the lessons can be learned, and let me tell you, I was also posted in Chennai as the ADC to the governor of Tamil Nadu. At that time, President Soon was there, and I have seen this Buckingham Canal. It is right in the heart of the city, and it is connecting from the river. So this kind of an oil spill tragedy which has actually taken, unfortunately there is no single agency in Tamil Nadu which is monitoring this entire spill, because there is a blame game actually going on, and for a long time, for a long period, this issue was not disclosed, or it did not become public. You have the Indian Coast Guards, you have the Tamil Nadu Fire and Rescue Department, you have the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board, you have the Chennai Port Authorities. So there are multifarious agencies doing that, and unfortunately, you are all doing this manually. I have seen those photographs of the laborers being used with the buckets. We have gone past this age now of this primitive method of fighting these kind of calamities or incidents. You need to have vacuum suction machine. I believe the vacuum suction machines, what they were having, have all got clogged. So it means that we were still using those old technology machines. We have still not got the latest technology. And I was browsing through the internet. There are new technologies like the magnetic technology also is being used by some countries, where this oil and water is segregated, and through pipes it actually moves up and it is cleared within a a matter of days. So it's now almost 5 to 6 days, and we have still not made much progress. Almost 72 kilometers of the coastline has got affected. 20 tons of sludge is there, and almost 35 kilometers of the beach, right up to the Marina Beach. I have actually seen this entire alignment all along Chennai as you go along the Marina Beach. And let me tell you, this is going to be a great environmental hazard. Not only the marine life is going to get affected, the people also you're going to get affected, because I have seen a lot of areas of settlements in Chennai are along the coastline. So it is a matter I would recommend here through your channel, that the NDMA also must be brought into it. The SDMA, which has a headquarters in Chennai, must also be brought
Okay.
into it. So, because these are the specialized agencies at the national level. See, this problem, you cannot leave it entirely to the state machinery to handle, because the kind of resources at the national level are there. So, it needs a rethink, it needs a review of our strategy, especially to fight these kind of environmental happenings, like a black swan event, I will actually call it, because it happens all of a sudden. You are not anticipating this, because two ships are actually colliding in the sea and the entire thing happens. So we have to
Okay.
be prepared. We have
Okay,
to be.
fair enough. Fair
Yeah.
enough. Okay, I have with me Captain Sham Kumar as well. And Captain Sham Kumar, when we talk about the, building a resilient infrastructure, and just a month ago, there was some 2,000 crore rupees that had been announced by the Chief Minister of Odisha, Naveen Patnaik, talking about how this infrastructure is, that this fund, these resources are going to be particularly specifically used for building infrastructure that it was going to allow for the facilitation of the residents, and particularly the masses. You know, when we talk about the higher strata of the society, they are not so badly impacted. It is the poorer sections of the society who are immensely impacted, and this has been done as a provision, as an exercise in a systematic level, regular level, by the Odisha government. And why I talk about the Odisha government? Because of the sustainability, because of the kind of measures that have been taken in the past. In fact, just a few months ago, there was an official from the Odisha government who had spoken about what are the kind of measures that they take, what are the kind of preemptive efforts that have been taken to build this infrastructure, to ensure that there is minimum damage that is done to the property and to the life of the people. There have been a number of times that the Prime Minister has also appreciated and lauded these efforts, these infrastructure setup of the Odisha government to ensure the life and property of the people is not impacted as heavily as we see in Tamil Nadu.
Thank you, Megha. Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea and Bay of Bengal, we have the recurring phenomena of these tropical cyclones, 4 to 5 during this part of the year, and obviously during monsoon in the Arabian Sea. Presently it's in Bay of Bengal. So Odisha or Telangana, the coastal Tamil Nadu areas, even West Bengal, they are affected. We recently had a phenomena in Gujarat, and we have seen a nil death and casualty and much less destruction or less devastation in Gujarat. So even Gujarat, because of the political will and the NDMA, SDMA, up to the Apda Mitra at village level, worked together, mitigating, pre-planning, then mitigating it, taking precautions, and thereafter post-cyclone rehabilitation work. So this is all required in all states. We must understand this. As far as oil pollution is concerned, it is one of the man-made disaster, and therefore it comes under the regime of disaster management. At the top level, NDMA has all the elements, and it has suitable people. I've been associating with this NDMA on this issue and aware of it. NDMA has the political will, it has the mandates, it has the power, it has regular exercises, mock exercises, ME conducted at every state, where the chief secretary level officer carries out the exercise. The secretary Apda Vibhag, that is disaster management, and a senior officer, and along with the district magistrate, fisheries in this case, and the pollution board of the state, all do carry out regular exercises. As far as Odisha is concerned, because of the frequent the devastation which took place in the Puri area, the government had planned pilot projects, and many activities happened, including Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship, Guwahati. Pilot project was undertaken to rehabilitate these fishermen by giving loans, making buildings, and thereafter giving counseling sessions. And I was party to one of the projects in which I was integrated for certain advices. So the government has taken extra initiative. Now it is not disaster management is a state government function, but it has to be supported by the national level resources. And Indian Coast Guard in this case is the main coordinating agency for taking oil pollution response across the country. And we must have clear understanding that even NDMA has a very senior element of Coast Guard and other officers who are fully aware of this kind of disaster mitigations. So comparing state to state is one part, and understanding that every state has a standard requirement to meet such responses is another part. While we can say Odisha government is doing very well, the Tamil Nadu government has no less resources at their own level, and the government, as you said, Chief Minister allotted the fund. It has to be brought down to the correct level. And if we look at the oil response here, this has happened in a river. It has not happened at open sea, and Buckingham Canal leading to the sea and the river obviously is going to affect the people, the houses. So it is very, very dangerous in case of sea disaster. While it is generally fishing, the oil activities at sea or the coastal areas are affected, and it is generally responsed by the Coast Guard with these state or local agencies. But in this case, it is a little different. And difficult
so
to
we talk about resources being provided by the state government as well as by the central government. But Major General Kochar, it is also then equally important to implement a certain set of rules, guidelines, SOPs. So for example, if you are in a gram panchayat, if you are in a village, or if you are in a town, there has to be a certain number of people in a locality who are then trained to fight the crisis. As soon as there is an alert, a warning that has been issued that there is a cyclone that is going to hit the area, there have to be these set of individuals who are then part of the training exercise, mitigation exercise, who are then going to seize the opportunity with the time in hand that they have to, in a bid to then allow for rescue operations, relief operations to happen, precautionary measures that they will at that point of time take to get the rest of the part of the members of the society or the community or wherever they, in the small part of the city or the village that they are living in, to take control of the situation. So that's one way of doing this. I don't know if it trickles down to the grassroots levels, and how systematic are we in then training these individuals on, I know at the grassroots level, because would this exercise also help in saving lives?
The NDMA has also NDRF battalions, which are located in all cities and towns. Even in remote areas, you will find, especially those areas which are prone to disasters, especially Uttaranchal, we have seen, and other places of India, Himachal and all that. So now there is a need to expand these activities to especially the coastal areas, because coastal areas are also very vulnerable, and the NDRF battalions have a training program in which they do train these civilians and the locals of that area in handling these calamities and what actions are required to be taken. This is part of their a total training program. It is a part of their SOPs, which have been built up by the NDMA and the NDRF. Now, coming to this very important and aspect which you have actually highlighted, that how we should combat these things, especially the cyclones and these areas. One important aspect is pre-positioning of a certain kind of equipment in an area which is very close to these coastal areas, which can be activated at a short notice. Secondly, we have to percolate this training, especially if you look at NCC today. I'll give you example of the NCC. We can use this uniformed force because I have been a commander NCC, so I can speak from that experience. You can use this uniformed force of young boys and girls who are extremely energetic and who are extremely keen to get involved in these kind of activities. So there is a need to train these NCC cadets also in these kind of activities, and they have their annual camps twice a year. The NCC, all NCC battalions have their camps. So it's about 10 to 12 days of camps in which we can bring in experts. And especially when we are talking about cyclones, and you specifically mentioned the Odisha model. Okay, now you need to replicate good models in all states, especially all the coastal states. Captain Sham has actually mentioned about Gujarat. There is a need to do that. Also, there is a need to do in states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, all the coastal areas, including Andhra Pradesh. So, we need to get into this in a slightly more purposeful manner, and especially as rightly brought out, it cannot be entirely left to the state machinery. The central machinery also has to be enmeshed along with the state machinery, and definitely this kind of a training module, if we are able to train the locals, because see, the first action is taken. Who are the first responders? Who are the first people who are going to get into action in case of any
Absolutely.
calamity? It is going to be these locals, because NDRF, all these people will come later into play. It may take 6 hours, it may take 12 hours, it may take 18 hours at times. So we have seen in this Orissa train tragedy also that the initial response was from the people who were present there, and a number of lives were actually saved by these very people because they were the first responders. So I would like to emphasize on this, that we need to develop an ethos here and not only restrict to states like Uttaranchal and Himachal and all these hilly areas, because calamities can take place in all other areas also. So we need to keep on focusing that, and Tamil Nadu government should not be complicit in this kind of activities, which I have seen at times. Governments do not pay much attention to this important aspect of building up resilience, because I would strongly use this word resilience in the local population to handle this kind of a calamity. They have to be mentally prepared, and also they should be equipped with the right kind of training equipment, which is made available to them at a short notice, which they have already been trained upon. So it is far more easier for them to get into their act. Megha.
Okay. Okay, all right. Quickly then, a response from you, Captain Sham Kumar. What more can be done? Now, mobilizing the locals, training them, making them more equipped is one thing. In terms of infrastructure, of course, we are going to then bring out the NDRF, the SDRF, there are resources that are going to be put in, funds that are going to be utilized. What can be taken as a preemptive measure, and what kind of infrastructure is required?
It is a vast subject, Megha. First of all, we have to talk about what kind of disaster that we are talking about. Today, we are talking about oil pollution response disaster kind of thing. But there are two things which we must look at it. The disasters which happens without warning, such as earthquake. These things happen where we have no warning, and somehow we get little bit of warning, but still we are not into that stage where we get a pre-warning. Tsunami, for that matter, we have started getting warning. We have a warning center. We have, like this cyclones, we have enough warning these days, and we track the cyclone. We look at it for 4-5 days, and we carry out preventive measures so that we does not have the effect of it on our area where it is coming. Flight accidents, train accidents, such as them, they happens without much warning. There is no warning at all. The local people in this case, as the humanitarian grounds, and the local administration, district administration comes into play, and thereafter the agencies take over. So this is a general cutout laid for the operations. As far as the top level management is concerned, I would like to bring it to the viewers here. The National Disaster Management Authority has a very clear-cut plans on all this. Today, it is not so as what happened. Last 20 years, ever since 2005 onwards, NDMA has developed itself into a complete operational level, as far as, I mean, not operational, but administrative level, to plan, provide clear directives. And it has the power. NDMA Act is very, very strong. It is governing all the district magistrates of the country. We have seen it during the corona. So today, there are. Let me tell you two things. There are officers at very high level from Army, Coast Guard, and the civil services, and also have the Coast Guard and Army senior consultant. They are detailed for different states, and every month, picking up one state, they carry out a very high level exercise where the state machinery is completely geared up. NDRF, SDRF, up to the level of Apda Mitra. They have thousands of Apda Mitra at a local level, block level, and they are the one who are going to do the question which you asked. They are the one who are going to be doing it, including the NCC, NSS, and Nehru Yuva Kendra students. They are also being dovetailed in this. So there is a system going on under the political will of the present regime, and it has taken shape and well engrouped into the system.
Absolutely. All right. On that note, I'm out of time, but I thank both of you for joining me on the telecast, sharing your views on the matter.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.